Hello, friends. I guess it says I am live, so we are going to play today. It's Wednesday. Today, we're going to have a conversation around that subconscious mind and recognizing it. One of the things in human design that um, isn't really talked about is the depth of the subconscious mind. The subconscious mind is a fascinating place. If you, as an entrepreneur, are feeling like there's things holding you back. You know all the things. You bought all the courses. You know all the strategies. You're using your decision making, but you're noticing that there's still something that you're bumping into. Most likely, there is still this conditioning that's happening in the subconscious mind. So the moment that you feel as though you're bumping into a barrier, that's where you want to start to do the introspective work. So I was on a coaching call yesterday. I was being coached and I was witnessing the resistance that was present as my coach was asking me questions and pulling information out of me. There was this resistance. So I totally, after the call, I'm like, thank you very much for holding space for that because I could witness it. I could see what it was. And afterwards, go to, my journal, which I use paper at times. I still use my Remarkable at times, and just get really deep and ask myself, like, what was that resistance? Why was I pushing back against the conversation that we were having? What was going on there? What that told me was that there were pieces of that conversation that went against some of my values. Okay. Now I'm gonna share this with you because the subconscious mind is deeply connected to your value system. So next month in the mentorship, we are walking through our value system in a way that allows us to expand our businesses and our lives based off of understanding where are those moments where we're walking through life and we bump into the subconscious that's holding us back. You want to look at what is the value system that you hold, the beliefs and the values inside that subconscious mind that may be bumping into this space that is going, no, we're not going any farther. That's what the subconscious mind does. It's a protection mechanism. The subconscious mind isn't a filter. It's not filtered. Your personality crystal is the filter. Okay. Your personality crystal is the filter. There's a range of what you're designed to um, think about. There's a range of what you're designed to bring into your life through the mind. And that personality crystal is the filter. But from 0 to 7, there is a ginormous amount of information dropping in to that subconscious mind that isn't filtered yet through the personality crystal because it's not mature enough. There's, our motivation hasn't got online yet. There's a lot of things going on. Our perspective is usually in transference. Our motivation is usually in transference. So we're allowing for a lot of things to sit in that subconscious mind. And because of that, the environment around us is imprinting constantly our beliefs and our value system. So we're constantly absorbing as a young person. But now, as adults and people who are building businesses, building families, building relationships, looking at our health and wellness, we have to get really clear what's in that subconscious mind so that as we navigate on this earth plane through the human design mechanics, those mechanics aren't being stopped up because the subconscious mind is holding on to these beliefs and value systems that may or may not be serving us anymore. So Dr. Martini, D. Martini, he has done a ginormous amount of work around the value system. Um, I did some of his work about, I want to say, 7 or 8 years ago, to really understand, what do I value? So one of the things that's very clear to me is that I value the flow of my workday. That's very important. I live on a cattle ranch. So having a flow in my workday where in between clients, I can actually walk away from my desk, go outside, hang out with my cows, hang out with my dog, pet my cats, put my hands in the dirt, or put my feet in the snow, whatever that looks like for me. But this is a value that is so deeply ingrained that when I see things online that says, like, you got to jam up your calendar, you got to take all these calls, I'm like, no, that's not how I operate my business. And my business is very successful because I'm not compromising my values. Okay. So I kind of went around a little bit there. So you want to look at, where do you bump up against things, and does that belief and that value, is it still holding true for you? So go deep into your value system, lean into those core values. Is it still holding true? And again, your life cycles, and please feel free to ask any questions here. Anybody that's watching, uh, drop a comment or a question so that we can go deeper into this. Your value system is going to change based off of your life cycle. So one of the things that has bumped into me a few times with clients is, I have moms that want to build their businesses, and yet they're torn between their family life and this business life. So it really goes back to the value system. Do you want to raise your children with you as the core caregiver, or is it okay for you to allow someone else to care for them during the day while you build your business? There's all these different aspects that you want to look at. Um, One thing that I'm noticing right now in my clientele is, because I'm moving towards my Chiron return, many of my clients are also leaning closer to that Chiron return. And one thing I notice, especially with women, is there has been this identity crisis. So they were moms, then they were career people, and now they're going, but I don't want that career anymore, and my kids are grown, so who am I? So we want to look at the values that you hold now in this particular life cycle, because the subconscious mind is still going to have that value system and those beliefs that you've held for the last 48 years. Doing the work and deconditioning and getting curious about the subconscious is something that is going to be the most valuable for you going forward as an entrepreneur, or as a parent, as a wife, or a husband, as a coworker, as a boss. Understanding those values and understanding what's in that subconscious mind allows you to really move into a different version of yourself. The other thing that's really important is to know that the subconscious mind doesn't know, when you're thinking about things, it has no idea if you're thinking about things from the past, right now, or the future. It has no concept of time. What it does know is, it recognizes what is going on in your body. What's the chemical reactions that are going on? What's the nervous system? What's going on with that nervous system? So that's what the subconscious mind is connected to. That's why visualization work and the imagination will take you to places that you never imagined could happen. Why? When the subconscious mind has already had the images or the feelings or the sensation, again, go back to your cognition, taste, smell, visualizing that frequency, that feeling, that touch. When the subconscious mind has been imprinted with this visualization, then when your eyes see it in the 3D world, your subconscious mind will already have expected that to be true because it's already imprinted. In the mentorship and in the coaching, this is one of the spaces that we go to, because if we're not using that imagination, the subconscious mind, the minute your eyes see it in the 3D world, the subconscious mind says, hold on, I'm scared. I was told that, as a kid, if I did this, things could go bad. Or I was told I wasn't good enough to have this. Or I can't do this on my own. I have to have somebody else with me doing it. So the subconscious mind will see these things in the 3D world and go, hold on a minute, there's danger. That's why you want to imprint and affirm to the subconscious that where you're moving in life, who you're designed to interact with, it's safe. It's okay to do so. And then when the eyeballs see it, you perceive it through your nodal view. Now all of a sudden the subconscious mind isn't scared. It can walk forward because it expected it. So I took you down a few pathways today. First, you want to get really curious. When you see yourself in resistance, get really curious. Grab your journals, piece of paper, your remarkable, whatever that is, grab that and start getting curious. What was that resistance trying to show me? Okay, that's step number 1. Number 2, what are the values that you hold today versus the values that you held in the past? And where's the disconnect? Is there a disconnect or not? Is that value that you hold today in the life cycle that you're in, is it serving you? Is it correct for you? You want to lean into that, okay? So for example, in our call yesterday, one of the clients is deeply ingrained in his religion, and that's a value to him. Now, what does the rest of his family? They keep telling him that he shouldn't be an entrepreneur. He should have a job because that's where the safety is. You need to stay in a job. You need to have a pension. And he's deeply ingrained in this deep trust that his beliefs, his religious beliefs, no matter what that looks like, will serve him as an entrepreneur, just like it's serving his family and friends as employees. So you want to look at, does your value system support your next movement forward? Okay. Third thing, visualization. If your mind has already seen it, if your subconscious mind has already seen it inside your movie, inside your own picture place, inside your head, then when it shows up in the 3D mechanical world that we're in, that subconscious mind isn't going to try to resist and hold back your decision making. So you want to imprint those visualizations on the subconscious mind, okay? And then when you see it, now the mechanics will work, everything will be interacting correctly, okay? And then 4, have some fun. I'm pretty serious on this channel, but go have some fun. Have some fun in your manifestation process. Have some fun with the subconscious reprogramming that you're doing. For example, I'm looking at my puppy. He's 7 years old, but he's on the deck. He was a part of a creation of my mind. I could see him. I had a conversation with my other puppy that we had that had to, go to heaven. I'm like, okay, if you want this new puppy to come in, we gotta bring him in. You're gonna train him. And that's exactly what happened. It happened within like 6 days of having this conversation and visualizing this. There was no resistance to it. My older pooch, he didn't resist it, and I didn't resist it. So play around with the visualizations. Okay. Journaling is a good way to take what's happening in there, because we have a tendency to have squirrel mind. And the minute that we can take that squirrel and get it off the hamster wheel and put it into paper, then we can actually see it. We can see where the resistance is. That's gonna help you decondition in a way that is profound. Okay, so I would love to hear your comments and questions around the subconscious mind, definitely here. But one thing I do want to say is that Ra constantly said, we are living in the cosmic ajna. So recognize that deeply. There's probably, all the different realms that we can lean into. That may not be the truth. But in this particular realm, we're living in the cosmic ajna. So the subconscious reprogramming and understanding is so important. And in my belief system, I believe that the International Human Design School and the BG5 Business Institute, I think that they're missing the mark by not putting this into their trainings, by helping people understand this cosmic ajna, how to use that subconscious mind, and how to go deep so that the decision making isn't held back. Because everything in our life begins with a decision. And if we're making decisions from a programmed subconscious that is trying to keep us safe, that is holding us back, that is still operating from conversations with teachers or parents or caregivers that happened years ago, that can be very, very difficult. Oh, where am I? Uh-oh. There we go. How do I identify our value system? I'm a projector that feels like my values keep changing, and they definitely will keep changing. The values that you hold today probably are not the same values that you're going to hold, even a few months from now, because that is the growth. That's why I said, take a look at like your life cycle. Where are you at in your life? What's going on in your life? So like when I look at my chart, okay, when I just look at my human design chart, I have the 5342. The 5342 is cyclical, but one of the things that's really entrenched in that 53 is that it can get claustrophobic. So if it's like held back in any way from leaning into the maturity that's available, it can feel very claustrophobic. So having control over the flow or the movement of my cyclical day is really, really a value that is not only inside that channel energy, that maturation energy. It's how I like that's the way my life is designed to operate. So I have that as a value system because that's what allows me to expand and mature in my reality. So you want to look at the values. Do you value family time, but you notice that you're spending a lot of time working or taking care of your home or thinking about things that don't matter or trying to prove yourself to people that actually don't matter? You want to look at that and go, okay, well, if I value family time, where is it in my calendar? Where is it in my day? If you value going out into nature and you live in a high rise in New York City and you never ever get to touch a tree because you're busy doing your thing, and you only do that once every 6 months. You go out to nature, you jump on the interstate and you go. That's where you want to look and see, okay, here's what I value, but these are the actions that I'm actually taking. Why am I taking those actions? Most likely, even though I get it, I understand survival is the core foundational process of all human beings. If we're trying to just survive and pay our bills, most likely all of our values have been compromised. So you don't want to just survive and pay bills. You want to experience life in a new way. So write out your values today, write them out from yesterday. Look at them from the past. Look at them as though you already have everything that you have ever desired. What's the value system of that future concept of self? So you can play along all timelines, because the subconscious mind uh, is it, it doesn't know time. It has no idea about time. All it is looking at is the chemical composition and the synapses of the neural pathways that are happening in the body. That's all it knows. Okay? All right. So have fun playing around with your values. If this is something that you're, want to jump into and play with, we're doing that next month in the mentorship. So that might be a space that you want to come and explore and play in as well. Down below this video, there is a workbook around self-concept, which is not exactly the same as values, but it's going to start to open up that value system and open up that subconscious mind so that you can start to play in there. Okay? All right, friends. Comments, questions, throw them in here, and yeah, have fun. Play with this. See what's in the subconscious mind. Get really freaking curious. That's the beauty of this. The human experiential way is designed to be curious. Logic, it's all designed to be structured. But the human experiential way, it's totally abstract. It's about curiosity. What's going on? What's going on in the body and in the mind and in the life? Get curious. All right, friends, take care. See you again.